Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kirby. This is a week in the life of a mobile mechanic, and this is just a weekly vlog of what I get up to. The ups and downs of a mechanic's life, the stresses, the pains. It's not always that bad. But one thing is guaranteed, is every week is different. So I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride and see how we get on this week. It's Monday. I've already been out to my first job, just an oil change on an A-Class, the one with the Renault engine. And I'm just still recovering from a bit of flu I had from last week. So I'm just on my way to potentially fit a starter motor to a transporter. He said it won't start, won't crank. He's put a new battery on. So I'm going to go have a look at that. Today and tomorrow I'm going around all the local garages, and I don't want to give away too much, but there could be a potential partnership brewed up with every single garage in their local areas. So there won't be too much mechanical work here. I'll try and show you my transporter diagnosis and repair. Right, this is the transporter. We've just had to bump start it out of the underground car park, and it bump started. So I'm just doing some tests. So just down here, I've got my bit of wire, my kit. I'll show you the kit I use. It's this wiring kit here from Autool. Wow. So I've just got that all hooked up, and I've already tested it, but nothing there. So I've just tested the main live cable down there, and then there's an earth cable down the bottom. Now I haven't load tested it, but I'm now going to just stick my jump pack from the battery down onto the starter motor, check it again. If it doesn't spin over, it's getting a new starter. Right, new starter is in, just down there. See if the old girl turns over, and I'm right. Lovely. I mean, there's no real surprise that isn't working, is it? Look at the amount of oil on there. Right, back in the box. I have used the Prince of Darkness for this one, because that's the only one I can get hold of in time. Right, let's pack up. Right, it's Tuesday. Finished off going around my garages yesterday, and the idea I had probably isn't going to work right now because I need to be available immediately, so that's on the back burner, but got some good feedback. But look at this weather, in a t-shirt still. We're having a late bloom of summer, and long-time subscribers will recognise where I am. This Audi TT, and we've got a battery drain on this now, so we've got a fresh battery in there. All the latches are locked, so just in case you don't know, to find a battery drain, or a parasitic drain as they call it, you've got to see how many amps it's drawing when it should be all shut down. So what you do is you latch all the latches, all the doors, the bonnets, the boots, so the car thinks it's all closed down and shut down, and if you open the door it's not going to wake anything up. Now the reading we want to see is 0.03. That's the sort of highest number we want to see in amps. At the minute it's 2.3 amps, so that is going to drain a battery pretty quickly. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to the fuse box. This is how I do it anyway. So that amp clamp on there, that's just for a visual reference, just so I can always look back. They're not too accurate. They're accurate enough, but you know, once you start getting down to smaller numbers, you need a multimeter really. So we're going to go to the fuse box. I'm going to test the resistance between the fuses. don't know where the fuse box is on here, maybe on here, but yeah, we're going to test the resistance between the fuses and see what numbers we're getting, and then we can start unplugging things from there. Right, I've waited for the car to go to sleep for as long as possible. Really, you know, you want to do it for about an hour, but it's just not realistic mobile. I kept on locking it and then the alarm kept on going off. So I couldn't see any sensors, and I'm assuming they're all in that panel there, because since I've blocked that off with a bit of tape, it's no longer going off. And yeah, I said we're going to measure the resistance, is the current, sorry, across the fuses. So all I'm going to do, if I can get you in there, just going to go across each fuse, and then I want to see the reading go down to 0. If it's above 0, that's where I'm going to start looking. Right, I'll talk you through it. So I've got one end of the multimeter on one end of the fuse, that's going on the second. You can see how now that drops to 0, so that fuse is good. Back on one end, back on the other, goes down to 0. So the one I find that it doesn't go down to 0 is where I'm going to start looking. Right, all of these big blade fuses have come back okay, and now the problem I've got is all these smaller mini fuses, they don't have the terminals on the end, they're all flat. So I'm not going to be able to test them that way. So it's not really the right way to test, but I'm just going to remove each fuse and see if the number on that amp clamp goes down. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, literally the second fuse I pulled out, it has brought it down, but not enough. So 0.2, 0.1, that needs to be 0.03. So we're going to come back in. I'm just going to pop that back in for now. Like I said, this isn't really the way you do it, because you're waking stuff up by removing fuses. But if we look on here on our little diagram, so it's number 16, magnetic clutch electronic water pump. Okay, let's see with that back in. It has gone back up to 2.1. So I'm still going to go around all the other fuses and see if any of the others make a difference, but we've got to start. Right, I've been through every one of those mini fuses now, and the only one that makes any difference taken out is this one. So that has gone down since last time. Oh, there we go, it's going down. Right, I'm just going to leave that for a few minutes and see how low that drops. Right, leaving that, it does go down. Now on here, number 16, magnetic clutch and electric water pump. So I think the magnetic clutch is going to be on the aircon unit. So what I'm going to do is plug that fuse back in, and then get down to the switch or the plug on the aircon, unplug that, and if the drain goes back down, that's where the fault lies. If not, we've got to have a look at that, what did it say, electronic water pump? Yeah, electronic water pump, so we'll have a look at that. There you go, plug is unplugged, and what do you know, that has come right down. Obviously that's going to take a little while to shut right down for the whole car. To completely shut down, but as soon as I unplugged that, it just went dropped. So let me plug it back in, confirm it. Don't need much confirmation, but yeah, check it twice, job done. Plug back in, shot straight back up. Right, you might notice a little bit of a change since the last clip. So after that TT, had a bit of lunch, then drove to my next job, which was just a full service. Actually, no, sorry. I drove to the unit, just because we've got someone working for us part-time up there. So he just needed a bit of a hand with something. Popped up to the unit. Then from there, went to do my last job, which was just a full service on an old Avensis. Nothing special. Didn't bother filming it. There was nothing. Yeah, I don't know. Filming servicing is as boring as actually carrying out the service. Don't get me wrong, servicing is your bread and butter. It keeps you ticking over, but yeah, it's just boring as hell. Yeah, then finished up early, got myself a little trim, took too much off the beard. There's not much hair left, so yeah, is what it is. On to tomorrow now, whatever we've got. See you tomorrow. Good morning, it's Wednesday. I'm up the unit. I've just got my mate to come pick my old Transit Custom up for an MOT. So that should pass, fingers crossed. And we've got a bit of a remapping day today. So I've got 2 remaps on. One's coming up here to get an EGR solution. And then we've got a stage 1 on a Renault Trafic a little bit later. And there's 2 ways to map a car. So you can either plug it in, it says 3 ways, but one way is to plug into the OBD socket and put a file on that way. And in some vehicles, you have to take the ECU out and go directly to certain pins. So we've got both of those styles today, so that should be interesting. And then the other one is you've got to take the ECU off, open up the ECU and solder onto it. But we're not getting involved in any of that. So yeah, just come up with the unit, and I think I've got to get this head off. So you wouldn't have seen this video, or you might have done, but this is going to be a one-off video. Ranger wet belt snapped on the motorway. It's not good. So I'm going to get the head off of that because we got some leakage. So yeah, I'm just going to do that until my customer arrives with their Freelander. Right, gratefully, customer with the Freelander for the EGR solution has turned up early. So I'm going to just walk you through what it takes to remap a car and just give you guys a little bit of information about it. And also, if there's any mechanics or garages watching this, I think this is really something that you need to add to the services you provide. Not only because it's, people like to do their modifications, stage 1 maps, and as we know, AdBlue and EGR solutions, all of these things are very, very expensive, and you're just giving the customer another option. So let's walk through it. First of all though, with any vehicle that I remap, I get the diagnostic software, do a quick scan, make sure there's no trouble codes, nothing untoward's going on. I've already got the battery support, the GYS unit. So the customer himself has replaced the EGR cooler and the EGR, but it was for a used one. So you never know how good these used ones are. And he doesn't want to do the job again, which is fair enough. So we've got these 2 faults in here. So along with a load of others, we're just going to see if these clear, and then we will do our own checks as well on the actual EGR, see if the valve is closed, because you want the valve closed before you map it. Right, so I'm all set up to get going. So the tool I'm using is the auto tuner, which looks like this. So this just plugs in to the OBD and then plugs in to my computer. And then Met are the company that I use to get my files from, so Mobile Eco Tuning. Yeah, I've heard about these guys a lot. As some of you know, you've watched my video where I went down there for the day. You sign up, you get a full day's training. There's no rush. You even get to map one of your own cars. So I brought my Sprinter down and put a stage 1 and a EGR solution on that. And with these guys, the auto tuner comes with all the protocols. There's no future subscriptions, and all the updates are free. So I'll talk about the price in a little bit. So I'm just going to run you through the steps that happen when you start mapping a car. So obviously I'm not a robot, and let's log in. So this is your dealer portal. There's a leaderboard. So first thing we've got to do is go onto the auto tuner, and we're going to read the car. So this is a Freelander from 2011, and we've got to find out the ECU number. So this, if you put the reg in, it comes up with all the information on the car, and then it shows you what possible ECUs you have, what tools you can use. It does say check your compatibility here, but I've already checked with auto tuner. And this is the gains that you'll get. So we're going up 25 brake horse. Actually, no, we're not. We're doing an EGR solution. So if you was to do a stage 1 map, these are the figures you'd see. And then so first we want to identify the vehicle. And then what we want to do is read the ECU. And just like that, that's taken seconds to read. So that file is now saved on your computer. It's an ECU file we're uploading. Click on the ECU type, and then you get a message on your phone if that logs in, just to tell you the file has been uploaded. And I'm in position 1 in the queue, and it's literally as easy as that. So that file goes off to Met. Met have spent hundreds of thousands of pounds in development and research into all of these cars, you know. As you've seen from my video, I'll inlay some clips here. They've got a big rolling road, they've got loads of equipment, DPF cleaning machines, diagnostic software. Right, I've got the file back, and let me just show you. I sent the file off at 10:41, and I've got the file back at 10:45, 4 minutes. They've got that file back to me. That's amazing. I know full well that there's other tuners out there, suppliers of maps and files, that can take 20 minutes, half an hour. So, you know, that reduces your time as, you know, an agent. You can fit more in, you can get on with it. You ain't waiting around on the customer's drive, or if they're coming to you, you know, so it's in and out. So all we have to do now is download the file. Right, so we come back over to auto tuner, and we want to write the ECU. Click that, tune file. Are you sure you want to write this file in? Yes. Right, slight hiccup. I'm gonna have to remove the ECU because it kept on coming back with a could not start loader issue. Operation complete, but with an error. So I spoke to the guys, and this is one of the main things I went with Met for, because of their support. You know, I'm not worried. Normally I'd be panicking now if I had very little support on this. But to write this one, I'm going to remove the ECU and show you how to pin out the ECU. A bit more work than I wanted to, but it is what it is. Some you have to. Like, I'm going to a Renault Trafic later, and I know I have to take the ECU out to pin that one. So it is what it is. Alright, so I've now got the auto tuner outside and this other cable connected, so you can see all these wires. Now the ECU is that way located, but on my screen it looks like that. So what you can do is rotate it so it looks like you are looking at it. So there's no chance of getting anything wrong. So I'm just going to plug all these in and I'll show you next. Right, all of those pins are in the correct place now. Double checked. You don't want to put them in the wrong place. And then come over, right ECU, And that is it finished. And look how long that took. 33 seconds. That's amazing. Right, let's get this all put back together and give it a little test. Right, next up is this Renault Trafic. And I've already got the ECU out, which sits just here. So we've had to use an extension cable into the customer's house, and I know full well this area has got no signal whatsoever, so luckily we can connect to his Wi-Fi as well, which he's totally fine with. So we're just going to do the same. I've taken the ECU out because I know it's a bench map. Right, again I've got the layout of the ECU. I've got it pinned correctly. Right, it's read it in 1 minute 56. So let's get back over to the portal. There we go. It just tells you the file's been uploaded and you're in the queue. So we go and view that one. So you can see here, if I get a bit of, it tells you that your file's been received. And just look at the speed of that. 2 minutes. 2 minutes between files sent off and files returned. And there we go, just like that, 1 minute 17 seconds. We've got the file back on, ready to put back on the van. And then we can go for a little test drive and see how much of an improvement it's made, because a little bit like my van, when I done it, it was gutless. Like, it was the lower horsepower model, it would struggle up hills. Don't get me wrong, it's no Bugatti Veyron now, but it's so much nicer to drive, get better fuel in. So let's get this back in, get the customer out, go for a little spin. Right, I'm back up the yard from my second map, and I was thinking about just doing the old workhorse, getting that mapped, even though it's on 236,000 miles, because it is gutless. And now I've got the bugging, and now I've got the mapping bug. I just want to map everything. And funny enough, I was just on my way here and someone wants a service and a remap as well, so got to get that booked in. But yeah, if any garages, mechanics, mobile mechanics out there want to get involved in mapping, I think it's a service in this day and age you need to be offering. Not just for the fact that you can remap cars, give it more power, delete or AdBlue solutions, EGR solutions. You know, you're going to get the odd car in where you're thinking, this has got a fault here, but I'm getting no fault codes. And with this auto tuner, you can also put everything back to stock. So if someone's messed about with it, you can then sort of go back in and, you know, start again basically. So it's a must-have tool for me. If anybody wants to get involved with mapping through Met, Mobile Eco Tuning, I'll leave all their links in the description. And I believe it starts from about £1,000 plus of that. That is a down payment for the auto tuner. And I'll be honest, when I was searching for the auto tuner is what I wanted to use, the tool I wanted to use. I just wanted someone that was going to give me a good, safe, reliable map. The support was there, and that's where Met come into play. So, you know, I think it's a great team. And yeah, I'll leave their links in the description. We'll see you tomorrow. Hello everyone, it's Friday. I've skipped a day. It's chucking it down with rain. Yesterday all I done was servicing on my mate's car. I'll insert some clips or some pictures. 2 cars he had, and had a look at a door not opening, but that's just a door lock, and seatbelt warning light kept on coming on, which was intermittent. And then I had a quick look at an Audi, and then I went home. So yeah, and I've done a bit of driving yesterday because my mate lives down in London. So yeah, I didn't really film anything yesterday, but here I am today. You can probably hear the rain bouncing off the roof. So I've got not that Vauxhall Vectra VXR to service, the van behind it. So I'm going to get the canopy set up. Right, oil filter's done, air filter's done, oil's dropped out, oil's put back in, and the fuel filter. So if you ever get one of these Vauxhall combos on a, I don't know, it's a private plate, fairly new one. Last time I serviced this, I was looking for the fuel filter for ages and I couldn't find it. So if you come back here, I've just jacked it up, put a ramp there because it is directly under where you want to be working. So you see that big Allen key socket, that's where it is in that housing. So yeah, there's a little drain off there, do that first, and it's up there. Saves anybody else getting stuck. God, look at the state of me. Lucky I'm not too busy today, because the pads are wrong. I've just put the old ones back in for now. But they're slightly different. I've got pads that are for electronic handbrake. So see that edge there, the diagonal edge. You can't see it now, but yeah, it's just slightly different. So GSF have got the right ones in stock, and it'd be quicker for me to pack up and go get them. So that's what I'm gonna do. Right, we're just back out at this Polo. We came out for a jump start because it needs a new battery. It was run up for an hour and it still wouldn't start afterwards, so it's absolutely knackered. It's got a nice new Yuasa one on there, AGM. Right, out on a bit of Saturday graft on this little Mini. We've got a bit of a clutch sticking to the floor, and then we've got, if you can see, all this fluid on the slave cylinder. Now I was expecting it to be leaking more here, but so up here you can see the pipe going into it is very rusty, so it might even be that is leaking. So I'm going to take, I've already got the spring out that holds it in. I'm just going to take the two 10mm off here because it's quite sticky trying to get it out, so I'm going to try and pull it down rather than push the pipe up. Right, slight change of plan. I'm turning this bolt and this end ain't moving, so that's just going to snap, and that is all part of the gearbox. I'm imagining the top one's going to be the same. I'm going to try and get a bit of penetrating spray on there, but I'll be honest, I don't think that's going to work. So I am going to try and wriggle this pipe out and see what the damage is, basically. Typical Saturday job. It is snapped completely off into the slave cylinder, so slave cylinder's got to come out. We've got to put a new bit of pipe on. Okay, managed to get the end piece out of the slave cylinder, so it's just whether or not I've got some brake cable, brake lines on the van and can get in there. Right, I can't find on my van any fittings, any unions for my brake lines. I've found a brake line, but so all I've done is just chopped it there, and all I need to do is come back and make a piece up like that. But I need to go to the unit and go get it, because I know I've got a box. I know I've got a box full of those unions somewhere, but I must have last made a brake pipe, which is ages ago, up at the unit. So I'm gonna put this one back down on the floor, pack my stuff away and call it a day. Right, and that concludes another week of mobile mechanic life, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what I've done with any of my unions and fittings for brake lines. They must be up the unit, which is really annoying because I could have got that one done. Luckily, he don't need that car every day. He's got the work van, so not the end of the world. But yeah, hope you've all enjoyed this week. I forget what I've filmed now this week, to be honest. It's been a bit of a, yeah, bitty. I'd say it's been a bitty week. But yeah, hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have and you're not subscribed, you've watched a couple of videos, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, share it with a friend, and I'll see you on the next one.